All right, everybody, we're building the footballing arc. Everybody pay attention here. This is incredibly important stuff. Get my notepad out. Now, we need one of every position. Do you think we can manage that? We need under 20s at every position, and we don't have time. Flopping is flooding the game too quickly. We need to get them out now. They need to be just from Europe. We'll take off from London because they think they're the center of the universe, and we'll just go from there. Does anybody have any questions?
Positions for what formation?
We're playing a 4-3-3, you buffoon.
I'm just saying, I would appreciate some specificity.
This guy. What's up, guys? Today, when did I become that guy? Hello, gentlemen and ladies and NBs and such. People of Earth. Today, we are going to use the database of Football Manager and a combination of that and common sense to produce Europe's best under 20 11. Now, there's one qualification we need to make. We will be doing this since whatever line we draw is arbitrary. If you entered the 2021 season at the age of under 20, you count as under 20. So if you were 19-year-old then, 19 years old then you count for this under 20 team. You are likely 20 years old now. Congratulations, you still can't drink in the United States. Okay, we'll be starting with goalkeeper. We'll be playing a 4-3-3, and I'm going to recommend that you check out the Twitch down in the description below. If you don't have time to watch Twitch, you consider it childish. All of the streams are published in full on a live YouTube channel, which, you guessed it, is linked down below. Let's get started. I became aware of the goalkeeper for our European under 20 best 11 because of something we do on Twitch called live sports, where we watch simulated tournaments on Football Manager, and I commentate some of them since that's my other job. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, the link's not actually down in the description. Get baited. But Ukraine made the final of a World Cup that we were watching on stream, and the dude that got them there was Anatoly Trubin. And right after that, he started to make some plays in real life too. He's the goalkeeper for Shakhtar Donetsk. He is now 19 years of age, obviously qualifies. He's the best under 20 goalkeeper in Europe also. He's absolutely huge and is not unathletic, which are great things to go hand in hand. He also plays with a confidence beyond his years. When I say huge, I'm talking 6'6", 2 meters tall as I want to be, not am. I'm not short though. A lot of people think I'm short. I mean, come on. If I wasn't wearing boxers while filming this video, I would show you. I cannot confirm nor deny this rumor. When this dude had just turned 19 years old, he clean-sheeted Real Madrid and started in 5 of 6 Champions League matches for Shakhtar Donetsk. He's the real deal. Shakhtar's a good club, perfectly capable of getting a good goalkeeper. It's going to be the number one for Ukraine for the next 25 years, because that's how goalkeepers work. He's not there yet, but I do think that Anatoly Trubin's going to be at a major club in the not so distant future. Inter Milan, who happen to be top of the table in Serie A at the moment, are currently interested in him. Which brings us to right back. And if you're talking about big clubs being interested in someone, this person already plays for a huge club. Brighton. It's Tariq Lamptey. Now, he is the oldest person on this list. He turned 20 in September, but he still qualifies just barely, which is a good thing too, because he hasn't exactly rounded into form as being a consistently relied upon player in the national pool of England, which is an area you'd think this guy would have to break into at some point. But I give a huge shout out to Lamptey for not giving up on it too early, because this kid is super fast and a very good offensive player at right back. He's just going to get lost in the sauce for England, because England has about 35 of the top 40 right backs in the world, it feels like. Lamptey's also helped out by the fact that there just doesn't seem to be a lot of potential world-class options at right back that check in at under 20 years of age. Most of them play other positions or move further up the field, while Tariq Lamptey's incredible athleticism, his work rate, and his ability to run with the ball are able to keep him in this spot as the starting right back on the U20 team. Whether that translates to long-term success, we'll see, but Football Manager also loves him. Only he could get some of Anatoly Trubin's height. It's not like Anatoly needs all of it. Tariq is over a foot shorter. For those that don't know what feet are, that's a lot. Now to the center backs, where the right center back in particular is maybe the best player on this list. According to Football Manager, about the third best player on this list, and somebody that's already been purchased for 41.5 million. This guy's Wesley Fofana. If you follow the game, you probably know who he is. An almost $40 million transfer fee to get the guy from St. Etienne to a Leicester team that's currently second in the Premier League, in large part due to Wesley Fofana, who's got a chance to be one of the best, if not the best, center back in the world at some point in his career. He's French. That's not a surprise. They have all the good center backs. Surprise, surprise, Leicester knows what it's doing in the transfer market and doesn't spend a lot of money unless it's warranted. Fofana has good athleticism. He's good with the ball. He's a darn solid defender. He's not outstanding in any one of these areas yet, but when you watch him and realize the guy just turned 20, come on, he's automatically on this team. And yeah, Football Manager has him as the best under 20 center back in the world. But there's nothing to sneeze at on the other side, because Eric Garcia is our other center back, and even though he's been caught up in this weird melodrama with Pep and all these different strange things happening with him on the transfer market, where like he comes in from Barcelona, now he's leaving to go back to Barcelona, but Pep absolutely loves him, and he absolutely loves him for good reason, because Eric Garcia has the quality of somebody that you would expect coming through La Masia and then hitting Manchester City, where you can't possibly have a better training ground and surrounding cast to improve yourself with. He plays with a lot of intelligence and a lot of athleticism. I mean, we're talking about two center backs that are going to be at the top of their game around the world for a long time, and they are just starting to get on the radar. Eric Garcia in particular, Fofana's got a lot of hype. Garcia, at least in the spheres that I'm traveling, gets less hype than he should. The guy would start for, I mean, all but how many clubs in the world? Less than 10. He cracked the Spain team before he turned 20. It's center back. And to round out our defense, we go to left back for the player that Football Manager rates higher in terms of current ability than anybody else on this list that we've had so far. And it's my dear friend, Alphonso Davies. CONCACAF's finest, as much as it pains me to say it. He's definitely the best Canadian player of all times. Bayern Munich's rock solid starting left back. He is not only a player of incredible pace, but a player of incredible composure, and a guy that's perfectly capable of completely embarrassing you, your entire family, your entire extended family, and writ large your entire country on any given day if you happen to have the misfortune of getting in his way. He's a Champions League champion. He's a Bundesliga champion. All he needs to do is win the World Cup with Canada, and he's the new Kylian Mbappe. But unless they start playing World Cups on maple syrup, I don't think that's happening anytime soon. At least they're one of the hosts for the 2026 World Cup, which means Davies will be able to play in at least one, and he will be right smack dab in the middle of his prime for that World Cup. So much health to him, and I look forward to it. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the defense, we find older players, where the entire defense of Lamptey, Fofana, Eric Garcia, and Davies are all 20. At the time of the recording of this video, they were just 19 when the season started. The midfield, we find a generation of players coming through that's going to be very transcendent, because I don't know what you were doing at 17, but at 17, Eduardo Camavinga was changing lives. He started the season at the age of 17, and right when he started, he already broke into the French national team and had 32 appearances for Rennes. Before this season, if you haven't heard of this guy, thank goodness you're watching this video. Somebody had to tell you. He's the box-to-box midfielder's dream. He's already very intelligent, can play anywhere up and down the center of the park, can create, can screen, defensively, plays well beyond his years. You know, when you watch certain players and you're just like, well, that dude's 25 years old and a 17-year-old body. Yeah, he's one of those. Talking about a guy that turned 18 in November, whose market value on Transfermarkt is 66 million. There's just certain players that you're watching, and he's at Rennes. And even though he says he likes it at Rennes, a big club is going to spend $100 million to buy him. It's the same feeling you got watching Joao Felix. Except this guy's going to do it playing in the midfield. Not even like the really advanced part of it. He's the defensive midfielder in this best 11. And part of his midfield trio is actually the only guy that's 19 at the start of the season, and that's Dominic Soba, a player I've been high on for years. You can watch videos back to last year when I started on YouTube, so maybe not too long, but I have been talking about Dominic Soboslai as a wonderful player, and it happened. Somebody signed him from Salzburg, Leipzig. But the transfer was $23.5 million, and the Rasenballsport Leipzig, it's not Red Bull Leipzig. Did you know that? Because I know that, and I tell everybody. They've brought him in. If you haven't seen the free kick goal that he scored for Hungary. It's one of the best goals I've ever seen. Knuckleball straight into the top corner from 30 plus. He's got that type of quality. He's sneakily very athletic. He has fabulous hair. Like, so does Camavinga, but Szoboszlai feels like he knows he has fabulous hair, and that really contributes to some flair in the midfield. Since coming over to Leipzig, he's hopped right in stride in the Bundesliga, 4 goals, 8 assists in 12 matches. Good to me, good for you. The final player in this truly outstanding midfield for the European Under-20 Best 11 is Pedro. He's got more quality in his pinky finger than I ever had in my entire body. He has that in Football Manager too. If you play, look at that. He's 17 at the start of the game. He's 18 now. That's nuts. 18 flair, 17 vision, 16 passing, technique, first touch, and 17 dribbling. He's not unathletic. He's unbelievable. He's one of the best players in the team, and he's 17. And the best part about it is Real Madrid had Pedri on their team. He's not one of those guys that was born and raised in Barcelona, and here he is. And blah, blah, blah. Barcelona got on this Pedri train super late. Real Madrid rejected him twice. That's more than once. It was like 2 years after he got rejected by Real Madrid. All of a sudden, he led Las Palmas in the second division to great success. Barcelona had to pay $5 million to get a guy that Real Madrid could have gotten for free 3 years ago. Stonks. Also, he's very good. If you haven't watched him play, it's a treat. Now to the front three. For me, one of these was super obvious. The other two were incredibly muddled. So hear me out. There's a contest for right wing. There are 2 contenders, and the answer is Callum Hudson-Odoi. Not only has he been resurgent and exploded into Thomas Tuchel's team at Chelsea very recently, but Football Manager actually rates him as the best right wing option under the age of 20 in the entire world. The other person I was considering is Bukayo Saka, who Football Manager had essentially at the same level. But Callum Hudson-Odoi has just been a little better recently and plays a lot for a better team. This is coming from somebody that is a huge Pulisic stan. So Callum Hudson-Odoi is typically in direct competition, but the intestinal fortitude it takes to get completely overlooked for the vast majority of the Lampard years and be able to come out and take your place as somebody who is lanky, ambidextrous, and skilled, that's all I needed to see. Watching him and Bukayo Saka work on that wing for the English team, though, like far in the future, 5 to 6 years from now when that spot is cemented, it's going to be a treat. And I think Bukayo Saka is going to be an amazing player. I think Arsenal is going to win the league in 5 to 6 years because they might as well play all the youth players now, and that's how you end up with a golden generation. Just look at the history. But in terms of who is the best under 20 right wing in the world right now, Callum Hudson-Odoi is the answer, according to Football Manager and according to me. The other wing was much easier. There's a 17-year-old, plays with Pedri. People worried about Barcelona's youth academy not being that good. Well, they got Pedri, and they've got Ansu Fati, who is Barcelona through and through, came up through the academy. We've known he's coming for a while, and now he's already playing for Spain. It's just not fair. The kid's insane. He's a worldie. He's 17 years old, and you watch him play, and you go, well, entering the season, he had 24 appearances and 7 goals for Barcelona. This year, he's got 4 more goals and 7 appearances, and the poor lad's been hurt for 3 months. Transfermarkt is asking me whether I prefer Ansu Fati or Lionel Messi. I don't think he's Messi. I don't think he'll be as good as Messi. No one probably will for the rest of the time that I'm alive. But if we're talking about somebody that could conceivably be the best player in the world for a couple of years, win the Ballon d'Or or Ballon d'Or or however the heck you're supposed to say it multiple times, Ansu Fati's your guy. There's no forward under the age of 20 better in the world than him. But there are a couple of people that want to try. The striker position was hotly contested as well. Football Manager couldn't decide, had a couple of people at the same level of ability, so that means that while I try and take close decisions on Football Manager into my own hands, this one is literally in my own hands. To which I answer, Myron Boadu. To which you're probably wondering, if you just watch the major leagues in Europe, who? Boadu's a guy that turned 20 in January, plays for AZ in the Eredivisie, and he's got 12 goals in 24 matches. I have seen this guy coming like a freight train, and so has Football Manager, as one of the highest potential forwards in the game for a couple of years. Now he's getting those consistent first-team opportunities. It's only a matter of time until somebody tries to make a play and picks him off at a market value of 13 million. He has a cracked the Dutch national team. He broke in November 2019, which is before he turned 20 years old. So as a 19-year-old, he was in the Dutch team and scored on his debut. You might hear this a lot because young players that are athletes tend to stand out at a younger age, with the exception of Pedro, who is actually a sneakily really good athlete. Myron Boadu is a wonderful athlete. The kid is fast. He can use either foot. He knows how to use his speed. He's going to need some polishing up when he gets into a major club, but he has the potential to be an everyday center forward for a top 10 club in the world, and he's right on track to getting there. And I think if I'm building a team, which is this is what this is. I'm building a team to win a match. My best 11 right now. Myron Boadu knows how to put the shirt on, go it alone, play that center forward role, and take care of business. A little more so than Mason Greenwood, who I love, and next year will probably be the starting striker in this team. But right now, it's Myron Boadu. He's just a saucy player. Saucy. And who's the manager of this team? Me. Just kidding. I'm 25. I still qualify, though. I expected a joke to come to me. It just didn't. There's your fun fact for the day. There's your best 11 under 20 in Europe. I'll see you in another stream, another video. Feliz Navidad.